insured for $1,000
in case you die of death of fright.
From watching Spine Tingler, the William Castle story.
Please take your blood pressure pills before you come into the theater. Thank you.
Hi, we're here with some of the people from William Castle, the Spine Tingler. Explain what you have there.
Right here is a beneficiary agreement with Lloyd's of London. If you come to see Spine Tingler, the William Castle story, you are insured up to $1,000 if you die death of fright. We are here to assist and aid anybody who runs into problems. We hope that you take a blood pressure pill before you come to the show. Make our jobs a little bit easier for the rest of the people that don't follow these instructions. And it should be a good time. It should be a good time.
Wonderful. Tell us a little bit about the film.
Well, it basically covers the life of William Castle and his contribution to independent filmmaking. And he was very influential, and a lot of people don't know about him, I think, in the way that they should. And this gets this great name out there and shows what a contribution that he's made to horror film and independent filmmaking.
What is your favorite William Castle film? Each of you.
Rosemary's Baby.
The Tingler.
I gotta go with House on Haunted Hill, man.
Straight Jacket. Nothing beats Joan Crawford with an axe. I'm sorry.
I gotta do what I gotta do.
They're all right. I know. He's an amazing filmmaker. Wonderful. Thanks for stopping by and talking to us. And I hope I will not have to collect on that.
I do too.
You'll be in capable hands if you're not feeling well. So
That's true. Thank you. I am here with Steve Bickle, who was William Castle's assistant for quite some time. Tell me about working with William Castle, some of the great things that, the stories of him on the set and him with the films, and some of the films that you actually worked with.
I was actually graduate school at USC, and I accidentally went into his office to drop something off, and we started talking, and I told him I'd actually met him when I was 13 years old in St. Paul, Minnesota, and I was a cub reporter for a junior high newspaper, and I went to one of his press conferences. So I met him again when I was at film school, and he said, sit down, and we started talking, and then I became his assistant. No money, but it's typical Bill Castle, but I learned the business through him, and worked on a film called Bug, and which was his last film, and knew nothing about. I knew about him. I knew he'd done Rosemary's Baby, and he just took me under his wings, and I started actually rewriting some writers, and it was a great experience, and I learned a lot from him.
That's wonderful. What's the one thing that you've taken from your time with William Castle into your own
marketing? I think the interesting thing about Bill was that he was ahead of his time. I mean, when he was doing the things he was doing, they were sometimes dismissed by much of Hollywood because it was thought it was gimmicky. And now if you look at some of the marketing techniques they use today, he was a visionary that way. So it's really great 30 years later that he's gotten the recognition that he deserved, because he didn't get it to the extent he should have while he was alive.
I have the director, I have a star of a William Castle film, and I have the William Castle legacy here. Let's start off with you. What made you decide to direct a film about the great William Castle?
Well, we came of age in the 70s and the 80s, but that was way after the heyday of the exploitation film. It was way after people like William Castle could be an entrepreneur and go out on the road, make low-budget horror movies, and actually get Class A press coverage. So he would go out and do kind of low-budget gimmicks, but he was competing with the big guys, and he actually got people to fill the theaters through these really creative gimmicks like Percepto, Illusiono, Emergo. You've heard of all these. He insured the audience against death by fright for the film that Jackie starred in, Macabre.
I have my insurance policy.
My dad was convinced that she was going to be so frightening in the movie that people would actually die. And then the beneficiaries would have to collect. Her performance was just so good.
Oh my goodness.
And more people died than they would admit.
What was the greatest thing that happened to you on the set of Macabre? Like the greatest William Castle story?
Well, I guess on the last day of shooting, when we'd shot about 17 hours in the mud, and I got straddled a log. And I couldn't get off of it. Nobody could see me, and I was laughing hysterically. And they thought that I'd snapped, and nobody would come near me. They said, just stay away from her. She's going to be all right.
Well, that was like a 10-day shoot, nonstop, 17-hour days. I wouldn't be surprised if you went a little crazy by the end of that shoot.
I don't
right?
think it was 10 days. I thought it was 7.
Don't
Maybe
you
less.
find it amazing that this generation knows Dad's films? I mean, it's remarkable. It's just, I mean, my dad, I mean, he's up there right now, like laughing his head off or smoking a giant cigar. I mean, he's having the best time because he's been, I mean, you know, this man has made this fantastic film about him that generations are going to be able to see and appreciate what he did and what he stood for.
Well, I think that you can see William Castle's legacy in almost any horror film that's around today, if not on film, in the way that they talk about the movie in terms of marketing. Oh, definitely.
I hope so. I mean, Dad, it was all about a roller coaster ride. It was the scream and the thrill and the excitement, and then it was the laughter and the release, and it was the opportunity to put your hand around a really cute boy, you know, that kind of stuff.
What did you think when he came to you, when Jeffrey came to you and said, I want to make a movie about your father?
Well, in all honesty, I have gotten a lot of requests through the years for people to do something on Dad or a documentary on my father, but there was something that's special about Jeffrey, and it was his insightful quality. It was his gentle yet persistence that convinced me that this was the right person to make a film about Dad, and I was right. It's a fabulous film. I'm so pleased. And I can say that completely unbiasedly. I mean, it's really, really fabulous.
Thank you, Terry.
Well, we're going to be actually sitting down with you and pretty much everyone that's going to be there on Sunday. I hope, are you all attending on Sunday?
I wouldn't miss it for the world. I guess.
Yeah, we're going to sit down with everybody. So if for an interview with everybody for William Castle. So.
Thank you for being a champion of it.
Oh, I think it's a fantastic, wonderful idea, and it's great to. And I know that for Jeffrey, it was a quite a long process in terms of from conception to completion, right?
It was really a labor of love. I started it, I think I called you when the House on Haunted Hill remake was announced,
Right.
and that was in basically 98, 99, somewhere around there. It was really a labor of love. It just sort of,
And he is so sick of me by now.
vice versa. Well, you know, Terry, I interviewed her. Her interview took about 8 hours, so she was very patient with me. Yours took about an hour. Yours was, you got off easy.
Yep.
Well, wonderful. Thank you.
That the beauty of the film is it captures Dad as a man, not just as a filmmaker.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to seeing it, and hopefully everyone can see it sometime soon. Whether you like it or not, Jeffrey. Wonderful. Thank you guys so much.